Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this Creative Warrior online program powered by Vidyadaan. We are so glad to continue with this series with Global Media Education Council. Yes, GMEC and MESC brings to you a wonderful series with a rich content on media-related media sector. Now we have earlier spoken about journalism. Now we had a session about advertising, and today we are on a wonderful session of media and information literacy for navigation on information super highways. Yes, it's a new topic and it's a new thing. And we have with us Ms. Bhavna Patnaik. Ms. Bhavna Pathak, sorry, my apologies. Ms. Bhavna Pathak is Assistant Professor and Head of Department of Mass Communication in Indore. She is it's a prestigious institute of management and research in Indore. She's an honorary director, department concerning project for media dictionary, Indian Association of Masscom, Delhi. Ms. Pathak is a media educator, a trainer, founder of audiovisual multilingual media dictionary, YouTube channel, media literacy activist, professional podcaster, and voice artist. Ma'am, so good to have you here on this platform.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Poojaji. And even I'm so happy and glad that, the GMEC and MESC gave this opportunity, and Vidyadaan is, of course, Mahadan.
Thank you, ma'am. So with this, without disturbing the audience and without taking much of your time, I would like to hand over this session to you, and I'll be learning at the back end.
Thank you so much. Is my screen visible to you?
Yes,
Okay.
but you can make it a full screen.
So, a very good morning to one and all present for this session, and those who might be, watching this session later on, and why we need to discuss about media and information literacy, and why we are saying that media and information literacy is important in digital era, because it's just like driving on information superhighway. And when you drive on highways, so driving on highways have certain different rules, regulations, and strategies are required, because driving in a city is very different from driving on highways. So navigation safely is required, and we can say that media and information literacy is the essential literacy in 21st century, because as media became so powerful, media is omnipresent, media is omnipotent. So that is the reason we need to evaluate it. We need to understand how media works, and that is the reason that I have selected this topic to discuss on with the younger generation, because when we talk about the younger generation, the media penetration amongst them is really a lot, and they consume media to a larger extent. So my topic is media and information literacy for navigation on information superhighways, and it's the Vidyadaan series organized by Global Media Education Council and Media and Entertainment Skill Council. So I'm thankful to you for providing this wonderful opportunity to interact and speak my mind on this particular topic, as I have been working in the field of media and information literacy for quite long, and this is the area where I love to explore. I really want to know more about it, and how the younger generation, especially the youth, is consuming media, and whether the youth is ready to adopt the digital culture. Because when we say digital culture, that means culture is a very complex phenomena, right? So culture is not only like consuming the media only for entertainment. Culture is like when the digital media platforms become your lifestyle, when that has been woven in your lifestyle. So we have to understand all these things, And that is the reason that we are here to discuss on all these things. So when I'm saying that driving on information superhighway really need some important skills and competencies. So what are those skills and competencies? Basically, those are speed, control, alertness, and focus. So when you are driving on superhighways, when you are driving on highways, because those people who drive on highways, they know that, I mean, you have to balance the speed also, because you cannot be so slow and you cannot be really very speedy. So you should know when to speed up and when to control. I mean, the control of your vehicle should be in your hand. So speed, at the same time, control of your vehicle should be in your hand. You should know, like, I mean, what to consume and what not to consume, where to stop and where to start, right? You have to be really very alert. I mean, when you are driving on highways, you cannot take it so casually. You have to be always conscious, alert, and focused, right? So same way as these skill sets are required when we are driving on highways, when we are surfing internet, that could be for the entertainment purpose. And most of the research basically through light that mostly we consume this digital media for the entertainment purpose only, while there is a lot of things for consuming, like it can enhance your wisdom, it can enhance your knowledge, it can make you very informative. So along with consuming the digital media thing only for the entertainment purpose, we also have to think about like how to balance this thing, right? Because I mean, like, consuming only and only entertainment in the form of being active on social media platforms, or playing online games, and interacting with your friends, chatting with them, video calling, and all those things. I mean, just for fun, just for having interaction. Along with that, we have to balance it. So, as I told you, that as we are entering in this digital world, and we can say not only the entering, but we have entered in this digital world, and this era of 21st century is known as information and communication era, right? So this is information and communication era. So we cannot survive in 21st century without having proper communication with people, and without using the technologies, right? So that is the reason, like, we cannot ignore it, we cannot avoid media. So it's better to be cautious, it's better to be alert, it's better to be to keep an eye on what you are consuming. And that actually media literacy throw light on. So when I am saying that media literacy is the essential skill in 21st century, and that is direly required, you might you might ask question to myself or to yourself, like, I mean, fine, that might be useful for media students, media professionals, media academician, but what about the common people? I mean, why we need to study one more subject, or why we need to pay attention to to media literacy? I mean, we have smartphones, we have good data connectivity, and that's it. And we know how to use smartphones, and how to play online games, how to interact on social media platforms and all those things. But my dear friends, I mean, when you are entering in a new world, I mean, like, when you go to any of the new place, you first of all try to understand what are the rules regulation of that particular place, or of that particular organization. Like, same way digital world is also having its rules and regulations, so which is known as the netiquettes. So it is netiquettes, means, I mean, internet etiquette. So when you are entering in digital world, that means you should also practice, you should also understand that what are the netiquettes of entering in this particular world, right? So this is just like the situation right now we are facing as we are becoming a victim of cyber frauds, cyberbullying, trolling, and so many things. That means we are playing new game with old rules. So, my dear friends, we also have to change the rules according to the game. So, as we are entering in the new world and this is a new game, we do have to change this rule of gaming, right? Only then we can survive in this highly competitive era, in this very dynamic era where the information are changing so fast. So that is the reason that media and information literacy is required direly for everyone, those who are consuming it in any form, whether that is in the form of entertainment, in the form of information or knowledge, right? Because when I'm saying that the digital media platforms have given you ample opportunity to get the information, and now many of the breaking news are basically breaked on the social media platforms, and most of the, especially I'm talking about the younger generation, who get most of their first-hand information, basically from the social media platforms related to any of the event or incident. Why you have to stop and start thinking about the social media consumption? The reason is because we are too much into social media, and many researchers basically highlights and they basically suggested and recommended that if you are consuming a lot of media content, you are continuously on social media platforms for more than 4 hours, you might feel depressed, right? And it's a kind of techno stress also. So if you are on social media platforms for long hours, and I don't know whether have you heard about FOMO, because I mean this is one of the very popular term, or it's you can say a very common phenomena in this world today, and this FOMO is known as fear of missing out, right? This means like when you see some of the posts of your friends, colleagues, or family members who are enjoying, and they posted some pictures, videos, right? And most of the people are liking it, they are commenting on that particular video or on that particular photo, and you are missing from that photo or the video. You really feel upset. You feel like, I mean, there is no happiness, there is no charm in your life, and see how your friends, your colleagues, your family members are enjoying their life, right? So this fear of missing out actually gives you a lot of stress. So that is the reason that we have to evaluate it, we have to analyze it, like what we are looking at or what we are consuming. So it's also known as media diet, right? So I'll be talking about it in details first, but first we should understand like why navigation safely is very important on information superhighway. Because I mean, when you are on, you can search for anything, so there is ample of information on internet. So there is actually information bombardment on internet, and so many people are posting on YouTube. I mean, so many publication is there, so many channels are there. So if you will start watching, even if you will, you cannot consume every content. So what you have to do is you have to start filtering those information. You have to think about like what is good for you, what is relevant, and what is useless. So proper filtration is also required, right? So this media literacy actually help you to develop the critical approach, the rational approach towards media consumption. Like you should never be passive when you are consuming media, because when we talk about the media, I mean event or incidents which take place, they are not covered the way any incident happened, right? So there is representation. So how media represent things, how media basically, showcase anything, which kind of language they are presenting, what they are showing you, and what are the information which they are hiding. So you have to understand those things also, that what has been basically disseminated to you and what's omitted. So omitted part too need to be think of, right? So as I told you that as we need proper skill set to drive on highways, proper navigation and route chart as well, because if you are not having the route chart, you don't know, I mean, which way you have to go. You cannot reach your destination point uh, at the right time, you can say. So a lot of time might waste, right? So same way, you also need proper skill set for basically driving on information superhighway. And I think this even you might have felt that, I mean, this happens with me, like whenever I use Facebook, whenever I check my my own YouTube channel and see the feedback of people, and see the fascinating their suggestions, recommendations, and also their feedback. So it takes a lot of time. So when we go on social media platforms, I mean, these social media platforms are really very immersive, very engaging, right? So and interactive also. So as it is very immersive, it's really very tough to come out of it, right? I mean, only within like 2 to 3 minutes. So that is the reason you have to understand social media addiction also, and you have to get rid of this addiction. You should have control on your own media consumption, like what you are consuming, how much time you are spending on social media platforms, how much time you are playing online games. Are you playing it for 3-4 hours? Because I have seen and I have had word with some of the youth, and they say like they play Firefox, and other games are there. PUBG was like banned because of many such incidences, and which took place. So until less you will not cross check and balance your media diet, I mean, media is going to to dominate you. This technology will make us slaves. So we should, rather than being the slaves of the technology, what we need to do is we need to think of the social construction of technology, like how we can use the technology for our betterment, how we can use the technology for the betterment of the society. And one more thing which I really want to share with you is, I mean, I don't know that whether have you observed the mainstream media, because Reuters, in its report of 2020, they said that they found that almost like 23% of the youth population of India is selectively avoiding news. You know, so why this is happening? Why the people are basically ignoring this news, especially the youth? So even the news industry has to think upon it, and they have to really work on their credibility, because I mean, today we are seeing like how the electronic media basically organize the debates, and all the debates are so much framed and or planned. So that is the reason that this media also set agendas. So understanding these agendas, or understanding like how media is working, who owns this media, who has control on media. Because I mean, if the big conglomerates are controlling the mainstream media, or like if the political power or pressure is there on media, media cannot work in neutral manner. Media cannot work in unbiased manner. while media has to become, unbiased, it has to be neutral, it has to, whenever they cover any of the story, they have to cover both of the side of the story. So both of, like, as we see the both sides of the coin, same way media has to cover any of the stories. But what the news media is facing today is basically the criticism of media polarization. So what is this media polarization? Media polarization means when media basically, is either in the favor of someone, or, is not liking someone, or, like doing or writing the negative things about that particular person. So that is known as media polarization. So this also we need to understand. And I was talking about the navigation. So if you will have the proper route chart, I mean the route chart means, like, if you have the proper planning, if you have proper strategies, if you keep an eye on your media consumption, you can very well handle this media, right? And can maximize the benefits from media and minimize the loss from the media, right? So I think during this COVID-19 also, so this COVID-19 has not only made victim the uneducated sector of the fake information, fake news, but even the well-educated people also became the victim of the fake information, right? So there were several fake information related to the cure and vaccination of the COVID-19. And if you remember, I mean, like 2-3 years back, due to this fake information floated on WhatsApp, many innocent people became victim of mob lynching, as people thought, like those people are the child lifters. And so many, many people have been killed in this mob lynching. So fake news basically float in two of the forms. What are those two forms? Those two forms are misinformation and disinformation, right? So when I'm saying misinformation, that means when you unintentionally share any wrong information or any fake information, that is known as misinformation. I mean, that is the wrong information, that is not the correct information, but you are not aware of it, and that is the reason you shared it unintentionally. You thought it might be relevant to everyone. And we all have, I think, done during this COVID-19, right? We have shared so many information on social media platforms related to the cure of COVID-19, right? So that, I mean, other people can also get benefit of that thing. But when you share any wrong information or any fake information intentionally, you know that that is the wrong information, it's not the correct one, still you are sharing it. That means that is disinformation. And disinformation is dangerous than the misinformation. Why so? Because, I mean, the disinformation in that particular scenario, what happens is, I mean, your intention might be to propagate something. It could be due to the propaganda, that could be any of the political propaganda, that could be any of the religious propaganda. Conspiracy theory is there when the disinformation is shared in bulk on social media platforms, and that is for manipulating people, that is for creating a panic. That is basically when the information is shared with the bad intention, any of the fake information, that is known as disinformation. So we should also understand this misinformation and disinformation as well, and should be able to evaluate the information, right? I'll come on basically what are the core concepts of media literacy, sooner. So media and information literacy basically will lead you towards safe navigation on information superhighways, right? Because there is bombardment of information, as I told you, in this digital era. We are having so many information. So how to filter it, how to segregate the information, and how to, use the media for your benefit, for your betterment. This we have to understand, and this actually media literacy really helps us a lot. So now the question arises, why we need media and information literacy. So answer to this question are many. The very first answer to this question is that media became omnipresent and omnipotent nowadays. Media is so powerful, right? So that is the reason for understanding the nature of the media, understanding the working of the media, understanding the business pattern of the media, understanding the ownership of the media is really required. You should read between the lines, right? So rather than being the passive audience or passive consumer of media content, like whatever media is showing to us and we are just accepting it, we should not do that. So media literacy teach us how to, access information, how to evaluate it, how to analyze it, right? And along with that, it also helps us to create relevant content. And media is not there only for entertaining us. There are many other functions of media as well. So if I talk about the other functions, apart from the entertainment, media is also there to inform you, educate you, persuade you, and media also is there to form, media basically helps you out for information. Basically from that particular information, you can form your opinion, right? So that also influence your political orientation. And media manufacture consent. Whatever you think, I mean, media basically is there to tell you, like, think in this particular direction. So that is the reason that we need to understand media in what you say is like very deeply, right? Media set national agendas. So media can highlight any of the issues, and media can also suppress any of the issues. So media has that power to basically set the national agendas. That is why that understanding this media is very important. And as I told you, that we should also understand the ownership of media, like who is controlling media, because according to the ownership of the media, basically they formulate the policy of any particular media. So every media organization have their own internal policies, like what to publish, I mean, and which kind of information you need not to publish, and which kind of information really need more highlights, sort of things. And like there, the media is basically, if I talk about the segregation of it, like according to the opinion or according to the ideology. So some media you will find is like right wing supporter, some media is the left wing supporter, right? So the neutrality from media is missing these days. And that is the reason that we have to be more cautious, we have to be more alert, as media is not performing its job, right? So here comes the role of media and information literacy, which really helps us a lot. And for understanding media closely, we require media literacy, and we need to become media literate. And that is the reason that media literacy is direly required for everyone who is consuming media in any of the form, in entertainment form, or in the form of information, education, whatever. So that is the reason that we really have to think about it. Now we should understand what are the core concepts of media literacy and why I am emphasizing again and again on media and information literacy. So as I told you that media and information literacy is basically to access, analyze, evaluate, and create media content using multiple platforms. So when I am saying to access media, that means access means like how, when, where people have the accessibility of the media, right? And not only the media content I'm talking about, but also the technology, the digital skills. I mean, do they know what are the authentic sources from where to get the information, right? Do they understand how media technology basically works? And access to media information also means access to all information and even the ideas of like how the censorship works. So that is the accessibility, right? So media literacy basically make an individual competent enough to draw conclusion about media basically based on their own assessment, experiences, their values and beliefs, like how media is working, who is controlling media, how media basically treat any of the information, which kind of representation is happening, and how media is basically highlighting any of the information, what media is omitting, right? What media is not telling us. So this is called the media accessibility, right? So here is one of the picture, and which I took from the wall of Ramon Tuazon, and you can see, like these two of the places, and this sharp razor here, that and these kids are looking at the access to information. So though we have internet, though we have the mobile phones and internet accessibility, though we have the internet data at lower price, and that is the reason that this media consumption is getting higher and higher day by day, it is really very hard to access the right information. So, like, what is the biggest challenge? The biggest challenge is that we cannot, access the right information until we don't know what are the right sources, because there is ample of information. There is, there is bombardment of information. So you need to have those skills. You need to have those competencies to identify, to find out that what are the right information sources for for getting the right information, right? So it is really very tough to access the information, the right information I'm talking about. And coming towards the next point, which is analysis and evaluation of media. So what do I mean by analysis of media? That means to examine and interpret and criticize both media as well as media content, right? So if you will become media literate, you can examine and do the interpretation through going through the content of the media, and even like the working pattern of any of the media channel, like what they are displaying, which kind of information they are sharing, and how they are treating any of the information, right? So and how they are operating, what is their structure. So analyzing all these things, not only the media content but even the media channel is important, and this actually media literacy tells us how to do that. Media analysis also throw light on how audience or people basically perceive any of the messages, right? Because I mean, same messages can be perceived by many people's, very differently. Like whatever I am perceiving from any of the information, your experience might be really different from me. You could have perceived anything else, or and when we perceive any of the messages, actually what really works is your social, political, and economical and cultural, educational background. So when we perceive something, these backgrounds really matters a lot, like which kind of exposure we got, and how able we are to analyze media, how able we are to basically uh, see those things, and do we question to ourselves, do we really discuss about whatever is happening in the country, around the world, with our circle, with our friends, with our family members, or we just only passively consume whatever is coming to us, right? And when we talk about the evaluation of media, that means that like you also have to evaluate uh, the sources, like from where you are getting that particular information, and how credible that source is, and whether that source is providing you the information at the right time. I mean, is there the timeliness or not, right? I mean, if you are getting any of the information very late, so I mean, suppose, I mean, something happened, and this information should come to you at the right time, which you didn't. So there is no use of that information, right? So even the timeliness is very important, and this evaluation we need to practice, and we need to do. And if I talk about the evaluation, like along with the source credibility and timeliness and authenticity of the source, we also have to evaluate who is the author, who's writing that particular information, who is providing that information to us, and who are the publishers, and whether those publishers are objective or not, and what is their intention. I mean, what they are trying to disseminate, what they are trying to, to convince us. I mean, which kind of thing they are, they want us to understand, right? So even evaluating all these things, and the affiliation of those media organizations with the political parties, or the political leaders, and or like the big corporates, we do have to evaluate all these things, because I mean, when you are consuming any of the content, so the content get affected by all these things. So along with the media accessibility, media analysis and media evaluation is also required, right? The other point is very important, and for this we should really appreciate this digital media platforms, which actually has made us prosumer. So prosumer means like you are consumer and producer both of the media content. So when you are creating any of the content, then at the same, I mean, at that time you are basically the producer of that content. And when you are consuming any of the content, any of the media content, at that time you are consumer of the media content. And this digital media platform has given us this wonderful opportunity to become a producer of the media content also. How that is happening? I mean, you can start your own YouTube channel. If you love to write, you can start your blog. If you love to make the videos, you are comfortable in that particular genre, you can you can start vlogging, which is known as video blogging, right? So now you are not dependent on the media. Now you can create the media content as well. And why I'm saying that, when you are creating the content, that means you have to be responsible. Because when I initiated this media dictionary initiative, I mean, it was a kind of challenge for me. And most of the people said basically Instagram is a platform for youth, where you will see most of the dancing videos, TikTok videos, I mean, just for fun and entertainment. But I thought, like, I really want to share informative videos on Instagram. And the journey of this media dictionary initiative started from the Instagram only. I really wanted to have discussion with the youth. And when I made the videos, I mean, the informative videos related to the media, like decoding the media, how media works, I mean, who owns media, what are various media terms which we all need to know for better consumption of media content, and for utilizing various media platforms, and getting the benefits of media, and minimizing the loss of it. Then I really got a very good response, and then initiated the YouTube channel also. And if I can share the link of it. And if you will search on the YouTube with the name of Media Dictionary, you will find that YouTube channel. And today Media Dictionary is working in 30 languages, including English and French. And why we are using, or why we are basically creating the media content in regional languages and dialects, the reason is, I mean, when we are saying that media should reach to the masses, right? I mean, even the common people need to understand how media function, or the ownership of media. So until unless we will not discuss about it in their own languages and dialects, it will be really very tough, because media is a very complex phenomena. So until unless we are not talking about it in their own languages and dialects, it will be really tough for people to understand how media functions, and how media is influencing us, our opinion, our lifestyle, and our culture, everything, right? So that is the reason, this media literacy actually helps you to become smart content producer also. So rather than making only the dancing videos, or cracking jokes, or making the TikTok videos, what you should do, you should become responsible content producer also. And there are many social media influencers who are really, I mean, earning good amount from this social media platforms, right? I mean, who are very impactful social media influencers. And this influencer marketing is is basically looking towards those social media influencers, so you can basically encash those opportunities as well. So now, yes, I mean, before summing up the session, we should just summarize it, like why we need media literacy. We need media literacy and information literacy to become active and responsible citizen of a democratic country. So when I'm saying that active and responsible citizen, that means that we should be aware what is happening in our country. I mean, what the political activities are taking place. I mean, we should not say that politics is a dirty game and we should be, away from it. No, we cannot say that. So even the political literacy is required. So along with the media and information literacy, political literacy is also needed, direly needed. In fact, we should be aware of it, like what is happening in our country and what's happening around the world, right? And to become skeptical. Yes, just like investigative journalist, or just like, I mean, the investigation team, we should be skeptical. Like, why someone is sharing this information? What might be their agenda? What might be their intention? I mean, are they objective or not? I mean, what they are trying to, emphasize on. how they are persuading people, right? So you have to become skeptical. You have to keep questioning. You should, and one more thing, like when I'm saying ask question, that means asking the right question from right person. This also we need to understand, right? So here also media literacy really helps us a lot, and it also helps us to become responsible parents. So if the youth is listening to me, I mean, I think that this session is really going to help you a lot, because I mean, right now I am facing challenge to, as my kids are too much into, watching YouTube videos and all, and it's really very challenging for me to keep engaging them in other activities. So when you will become parents, the challenges really will become more tough. So though the parenting always has been the roller coaster ride, but these scenarios and this digital era actually has made things more challenging. So when you have to parent your digital kids, you really need to become media and digital literate at the same time, right? And we also need media literacy for recognizing the biasness which media is having, right? And developing critical and rational thinking. So when I'm saying critical and rational thinking, I mean we should keep our emotions aside. We should, there are several kind of biases, we all, I mean, no one can say that we don't have confirmed biasness. I mean, we have several biases could be in the form of regionalism, biases could be in the form of caste, class. So there are several gender biases is there. So we need to understand all these things, how actually bias works, even in media. Okay, and like filtering the unwanted information and saving yourself or oneself from this information overload, as there is so many information, so which is really for your use, which is really for your benefit, only selecting it or filtering is required. And here media literacy really works and helps us. And to check your media diet, so my dear friends, checking your media diet is really required, like how much media content you are consuming on daily basis. Can you do one thing? Do. What you need to do is make a diary. Okay, that is a kind of media diet diary. And in your media diet diary, write down, what you are consuming. Right from setting alarm on your mobile phone to, I mean, how much time you were on social media platforms, like how much time you spend on watching any of the serial, or talking to your friends, video calling, chatting, all those things. So just write down your media diet and see how much time you are consuming, right? So it's really very important, because when I am saying that media diet, I mean, as a balanced diet is required for healthy mind and healthy body, same way the balanced media diet is required. When you will have your own media diet diary, you can, evaluate it, analyze it, and can find out that, I mean, I think like our most of the time on social media platforms is for the entertainment only. So I mean, fine, I mean, we need entertainment, right? I mean, we have a lot of stress, and it's quite challenging. Life has really become very challenging. But along with the entertainment is just like, you can say, fast food. So if you are only consuming fast food, I mean, you're not giving the healthy diet to your mind, to your body. So that is the reason you have to think about the balanced media diet. Okay, and along with that. to become active and responsible content creators. So rather than making the dancing videos, cracking jokes, making the TikTok videos, why you need to become media and information literate? You need it because so that you can become responsible content creator. Whatever you are creating, you should have that sense of responsibility that it is going to influence, it's going to impact, it should be for the benefit of the society, right? And for all these things, the media literacy is required. So here I am uh, just these were the things which I really wanted to share with you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this session, and I'm really thankful to GMAC and MESC.
Thank you so much, Professor Pathak. It was really wonderful hearing and your presentation. Especially, I love that slide having a blade in the middle that describes how
Yes, how tough it is to access the right information.
true, true, true. So at the same time, unfortunately, my camera has stopped working. Uh, I would really like to know one thing. When you are talking about these superhighways and media literacy, is there any segment that you think is usually missed? Uh, when people think of traveling?
The segment, I mean, you are talking about my session?
No, no, no. I
Uh-huh.
mean, as a layman, when people try to go to highways and plan a trip, they plan for accommodation, they plan for, where they have to go, but nobody plans for the roads.
Yes, yes, that is the reason I said, like, when you are driving on highways, so driving on highways is different from driving in your city, because there you have to maintain the speed also. You cannot be so slow and you cannot be really very speedy. So you should have control on your vehicle. So same way, you should also have control on your media diet, on your media consumption. You should keep an eye on what you are consuming, and to analyze, the media content along with the media channels. What you are consuming and what are the sources of that consumption, and keep questioning.
Right. Very well said, ma'am. Hi, I'm Risa. Good
Hi.
afternoon.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
So we were talking about consumption of media literacy. So media literacy, as per this, since the time the series has started, it is confirming that the importance is like we consume our meals. Media literacy is equally important for everyone.
Exactly. It's important for everyone, but not only for the media educators, obviously, or the media practitioners. For every citizen, it is important, and that is how there is more and more emphasis. And not completely, but most of the part, I was listening to Professor Pathak. So that was really, I mean, I would say that I'm 100% agreeing as to whatever she has said in her presentation. And at points, it was looking like as if I am reading from, I mean, reading from my script the things that she has said. Because in today's time, the biggest problem is this, that since there's a lack of media literacy, because of which all this fake news or the fake information, all such problems that we are facing are because of this. So once that media literacy emphasis is there at all levels, in schools particularly, since the audience of this series is the school students. So if the school students understand the importance, and those who are running the institution, the school, they understand the importance, and this is included as part of the school curriculum, then obviously the purpose will be served. People will be more understandable how to get a information, how to analyze that information. Uh, that is very, very important. And lot of emphasis is already there. We all are doing in. education level. But then a lot more is to be done in different curriculums, school curriculums, the journalism and mass communication program, and even other disciplines. Some kind of either I mean, elective paper or some additional courses or something has to be there to make sure that media literacy is there. And interestingly, Professor Pathak was referring to that media diet. That's very, very important. That the consumption pattern of media and what kind of content need to be consumed, how those contents need to be consumed, and what kind of understanding that gives a person. That is very, very important, and that will finally, if that happens and we are able to do that, all that kind of environment wherein media literacy becomes reality of the day, that will strengthen the democracy, that will strengthen the country. So it's not the question of media alone, it's the question of the whole of the society, whole of the country as such.
Right, sir. Completely agreed to every point you have mentioned. And at the same time, tomorrow we have a very wonderful session on media literacy, on human rights. Like, it's a far most important topic. I would say that everybody needs to know about the human rights and what rights do they have in the society. So we'll have Dr. Archana Kumari, Assistant Professor. She'll be joining us tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. to bring media and information literacy on human rights. And really glad to have Professor Pathak and Amri Saxena sir on this session. I wish to thank GMEC team for working on organizing and arranging these sessions. It's really wonderful to have you all. Bhavna ma'am, it's really wonderful to hear you. It was
Thank you
really a
so much. And
pleasure.
I'm thankful to GMAC and MESC both for providing me this opportunity to speak my mind.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We would love to hear you again on some other topic, maybe some other day.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amri sir. Thank you, everyone. And we'll meet tomorrow. And yes, tomorrow is a very important topic. So let's meet tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye. Have a